It's the Sean Widmer Podcast. It's a journal by someone that just really doesn't like to write.
So there are days when I miss doing the radio show, and then there are a lot of days where I don't miss doing the radio show. And I'll tell you this, recording this podcast at 5:45 a.m. on Wednesday, I don't miss it. It's early. How did I do this every day for over a decade? How do my guys Jay and Kevin, how have they done this their whole career? What? I'm remembering now as I sit here in the basement, kind of waiting for my kids to wake up and ruin all this fun of being in this podcast world. I remember getting my first radio show, and it was 3 to 6 p.m., and being very excited and loving it a lot. You know why that is? You get to sleep. And now with kids, I don't ever sleep, right? There's no sleep. It is early wake-ups. Huck's up at 6:30 every morning, so I've got a couple more minutes before I see his bright, shining face screaming at me that he would rather see his mom, and I just am up. I'm going to be up at that time, and that's going to go. Now, I do have a chance to get some sleep at night because the kids go to bed between 7 and 7:30, 7 and 8 now. Olivia kind of stays up a little bit later. She kind of forces it, pushes the issue. But I could sleep then, but you kind of need that me time to just unwind a little bit at the end of the day. So I take that me time at the end of the day, watch some NBA playoffs, watch some Stanley Cup playoffs, some NHL playoffs, play some board games, play some video games, watch some TV. Ann and I will, we'll sneak in some Survivor. But that's when you get to do your awake time. Well, then you fall asleep a little later because you took your me time, and now you didn't get a lot of sleep because the kids are up at 6:30 anyways. I say all that to say, I cannot believe that while I was young and single, I spent a good chunk of that time waking up at 4:30 every morning to do the radio show. Was it worth it? Absolutely. It was so much fun. But now you look back and it's like, why was I waking up at 4:20 in the morning to get to work by 5? To work in the morning? When I could have been doing, sleeping in until 7 o'clock, maybe a 9 o'clock start time job, sleeping until 8:40 and just sprinting out the door. I don't know. It's early, guys. It's early. Early stinks. But I guess when you become, okay, I don't want to say this because everyone would say this to people, and it's a lie. They'd say, oh, you get used to it. You do not get used to it. You do not get used to waking up at 4:20 in the morning. But you become accustomed to how life is that way. It's just part of life. You're like, oh, yeah, I wake up at 4:20. It sucks every morning, but it's what I do every day. So it's just part of the routine. But that routine sounds so foreign to me now, and I'd go nuts with that schedule now. I think, although, the part where you get done with work early, get done between noon and 1 o'clock every day, having the afternoons off would be nice. Now, the problem with kids, and I wonder how Jay and Kevin did this, you'd wake up super early, and then you get home early just in time for the kids to get home from school, and now you're right back in it. And now you're just working from 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock until the kids go to bed. That's a long day. All right, well, that's not what we're talking about today in the podcast. We got some stuff we need to talk about. An event that I went to that was extremely long. Something that happened over the weekend. A food place that I was near and dear to my heart, and a little bit more. It's the Sean Widmer Podcast. Thanks for tuning in. We are fighting through this cough and cold, so I'm hoping my voice holds up today throughout the podcast. Let's cross our fingers for that. Please do it. Please last. I went to the Department of Motor Vehicles this week. Now, before we get into the DMV here in Kentucky, in Lexington, Kentucky, let's just get out in front of it. Because everyone, I can already hear my wife saying it. I can hear you saying it. We've known we need to get real IDs for 100 years. Okay, we've known it. And so I understand, excuse me, that I waited Oh, by the way, with my cough, my back is totally screwed. Is there a doctor out there? My back has not gotten any better in 2 or 3 weeks. It hurts to walk. It hurts to stand up. It hurts to sit down. And with this cough, I feel like this cough has kept my back even worse because every time I cough, it's like it reactivates the pain in my lower back. I'll be feeling fine, or not fine, but feeling better. I'll cough, and it sets me all the way back down to 0. It is the worst combination. Bad back and cough, worst combination. But I got to figure this back thing out because of my DMV story. I got to figure my back thing out because I've got a golf trip coming up at the end of the month with the boys, and I'm very excited about it. But there's no way I could walk a golf course right now or swing a golf club. 0% chance. Couldn't do either. I would be locked in to get in a cart and just driving along with the fellas, which could still be fun, but I want to golf. I want to play golf with them. Anyways, I knew I needed a real ID for a very long time. My wife's had one forever. Everyone's had one forever. And did I push it off to the very last second? Absolutely. It doesn't change my frustration with the story, but I just want to get out in front of that to let you know I realize this situation could have been avoided. Now, my problem is it shouldn't have had to have been avoided. So I go to get my real ID at the very last second. It takes, they said, 2 to 3 weeks for your real ID to get sent to your house. So I'm starting to do math, and I'm like, okay, I'm leaving the end of the month. It's the beginning of the month. That's 2 to 3 weeks. I need to go to the DMV. So I go online. I schedule an appointment at now remember this part, at the DMV here in Lexington, Kentucky. The DMV. Now, I'm from Spokane, Washington, where I think there was 3 or 4 DMVs. The DMV here in Lexington, Kentucky, got me in at a 10 o'clock appointment on Monday, May the 5th. May the 4th? May the 5th. May the 4th was Sunday. Happy Star Wars Day. Delayed. So I get my 10 o'clock appointment, and so I head there at 10 o'clock. We have a work meeting early on Monday morning. I go straight from my work meeting to the DMV. This is great. I show up there, and I look, and I'm like, wow, there's a lot of people standing around outside the DMV. That's a lot of bodies. That's probably 70 people just standing around. So I'm thankful that I have an appointment. So I walk through, get in, and announce myself as appointment guy. And that look is met with the blankest of stares as they're like, yeah, we don't have any of the appointment stuff working today. Okay. What does that mean? Well, you had an appointment. Here, scan this QR code. I scan it. They're like, now you have a number, and you will get served today. So you will get taken care of today now that you have this number. It's just not going to be right now. How long is it going to be? We don't know. Okay. Well, could I reschedule for later this week and just come in and get it? Well, that's the thing. We can't take any more appointments. Oh, no. Well, we've done it now, haven't we? We can't take any more appointments. So you go to their website and like you can't schedule in. There's not even an option anymore to schedule an appointment at the Lexington DMV. I started looking around on the website, like most of the DMVs in Kentucky weren't taking appointments anymore. There was one that was maybe 3 hours away, and I thought, worth it, almost worth it. But I waited. I go, okay, well, you know what? I've got a number. Right now, I'm 45th in line. Let's just wait it out. I've got to do it. I put it off, so this is on me a little bit. I've got to do it. So at 10 o'clock, I begin waiting, and I was number 45. And at 11 o'clock, when I was number 42, I thought, oh boy, this is going to be a minute. So I went home, did some work, and worked from home for a couple hours. And at 2 o'clock, when I was in the 20s, I was like, let me head back towards the DMV. So I head back and got back to the DMV about 2:15, set up a little personal office in my truck where I had my iPad as my hotspot. So I'm doing my work in my truck. I've got my eyes on my phone, and my number froze at I think it was 17. It was 17. At 17, my number froze at 17 at about 2:30. And it stayed at 17 until after 3 o'clock, about 3:15, 3:20. And I finally walk in. I'm like, I think something's broken. They're like, oh no, there's some people taking a little longer than usual. A little longer than usual? It's been 45 minutes. There needs to be a DMV timer. If you can't get your stuff done, you're out. Or go to the back of the line. What do you mean that there's some people having some issues? Oh my gosh. So, long story long, I ended up getting my Real ID. They actually started to bust through them once 4 o'clock hit. And I think I got my Real ID at 4:30. So 10 o'clock to 4:30, I waited to be 45th in line to get my Real ID. I got it. Oh my gosh. What a humbling moment this was. I have been pretty good and pretty lucky in my life this was just a shot of reality that hit me. I've been pretty good, pretty lucky with my driver's license IDs over the years. I've actually had some decent pictures, decent enough that I would leave, if you're chatting with somebody back in the day, it was helpful for me to have my ID out for some reason at some point. I was very lucky to have some good driver's license pictures. The streak has ended in Kentucky, folks. I look like a mass murderer on my new Real ID. She took the picture. I kind of gave her the half smile. And this is my first picture without hair. And they zoomed in like I'm Jabba the Hutt. I look like, this is real. If you Google it, I look like Darth Vader when his helmet is off. When his helmet's off at the end of Return of the Jedi, or at the beginning of Return of the Jedi, I forget what part that is. I look like Darth Vader with his helmet off. That's what it is. And she handed me this piece of paper. I'm already depressed because I'm losing my Washington State ID. I'm giving up that little piece of home that I was supposed to give up a year and a half ago, but I didn't want to do it because it's my home, right? Washington's my home. That ID kind of reminded me of the place I love. So I'm already hurting because I'm finally admitting to living in Lexington. That's a hard transition for me. So that sucks. I've been at the DMV for 6.5 hours. That sucks. And I look at the picture to boot, and I looked at it. I almost cried. Almost asked her if we could just do it all over again. And then I realized that's probably what the other people were doing that made me wait 45 minutes for one number to go by. I just put the temporary back in this little sleeve, this little envelope that I have. I just put it away, and I don't think I'll ever look at it again. I think I will put my license in my wallet backwards moving forwards. It is brutally bad. Brutally bad. So shout out Kentucky for having one DMV in a big city. Shout out Kentucky for having the worst photography situation, in the history of driver's license. It could be a little bit of me too. It could be a little bit of my fault, but the frame job on that thing is wild. And then shout out to Kentucky for ripping my heart out a little bit by stealing my Washington ID. Yeah. All right, my voice is failing me. But we got one more thing I wanted to bring up. Last weekend was the Kentucky Derby. And I'm in Kentucky now, right? I'm in Kentucky now. So last week was the Kentucky Derby. And I don't know how I'm going to get into it, but I like events like that. I really like events like that. They're really cool. They're really fun. And I don't know all the things, the ins and outs of horse racing at all. I don't know how to bet horse racing. I don't know if I love horse racing or not, like even watching it. But I love the event. And I love that it's got a lot of things around it. This is the kind of stuff I dig. Now, do I like dressing up? No, not at all. Not at all. In fact, last night, we went to my daughter's kindergarten orientation. And this is one thing. I may have a new driver's license, admitting that I'm a Lexingtonian now. There's one thing I talked to my buddy Mike about this, who lives here now too. We're not ever going to change. We are Washington people, and we're Spokane, Washington people. We wear T-shirts, we wear jeans, we wear shorts. We do not dress up. And that is one thing I'm going to, as my wife told my daughter last night, she, as we get into this school world where it's a big school and things start changing and you start to get a lot of people around you, my wife was like, you don't need to change. You can be, you can be who you want to be. You don't try to be anti-peer pressure talk. And I jumped on that immediately. I was like, you're right. Same, ditto. As I looked around and every guy there, I'm in a t-shirt. I'm actually in, this is embarrassing, the t-shirt I'm wearing on YouTube right now. I fell asleep in this last night. This is the t-shirt I was wearing. But I'm in a t-shirt, I'm in jeans. Every other dad there is in a collared shirt of some kind. Polo shirt, button-up shirt. Every other dad there had had something with a collar. They love collars in Lexington, Kentucky. It is wild how much they love them. I like that, like, t-shirts haven't made their way here yet. And I'm looking around like, you guys, this is a little kid's school thing. There is nobody here who we need to have come up to us and go, man, you really dressed nice tonight. I appreciate that. Like, there's no, we're grown. We're all grown-ups. We're the grown-ups here. We can do what we want. We can wear what we want to wear. And so that is one thing I'm not gonna. Where was that coming from? I don't remember. I don't even remember what we're talking about. Derby Day. Anyways, one of the things with Derby Day, big dress up day. Now, I'm okay with it in that world because that's kind of part of the event. Dress up to the nines, the girls with the hats on, all the crazy hats. It's kind of cool, right? It's kind of a cool tradition. Is it my world? Absolutely not. But I respect it from afar, being like, okay, this is a cool day for the people who love to dress up. They're going to show off their latest and greatest Sears button-up shirt. The gals get to put on the cool, crazy hat. I respect that. I love that they have dishes that are for the event. I learned about Derby pie this week. I've not tried it yet, but I learned about Derby pie, and I need to, let me re-Google it here to see what a Derby pie is. Derby pie is chocolate and walnut open-faced custard baked in a shell. All right, there you go. So it is often associated with the Kentucky Derby. It looks pretty good. Chocolate and walnut open-faced custard pie baked in a pie shell. I like it. I love that they have a food for it. And I think hot brown is kind of a Kentucky thing, but I think hot brown is a big deal on the Kentucky Derby weekend. Hot brown is a sandwich made in Louisville, which would make sense why it would be around the Kentucky Derby. It is typically made with turkey, bacon, Mornay sauce, which is a cheesy something, I don't know, tomatoes or pimentos, all baked until bubbling hot. They're really good. It's, like I said, open-faced sandwich. So you got your piece of bread with all the fixings on top. They're good. I remember it being very salty, which is great. I love salt. But I love that they have specific food items for this event. It's really cool. They've got their drink, the mint julep, which I think I would love because I love a mojito. So I'm in on the Kentucky Derby. I got just all that to say I'm in on it. I think it's very cool. I don't know that I will ever go to the Derby, but I remember now why I talked about not wanting to dress up for my daughter's kindergarten orientation. But I thought, I dress up for the Derby. I would dress up as an anti-dress up guy. This is a cool event that I would get down with and put on something nice and go to and just sweat and sweat and sweat. But experience the Kentucky Derby. They've got a really cool viewing party here in Lexington at Keeneland, the horse track here in Lexington, where there's a cool event where you can go and there's a bunch of people who mill around. They put the race up on a ton of screens. You can bet on it there because it's a horse track. It's a nicer horse track than Churchill Downs. So you can go watch it there. And that's probably what I want to do next year to kind of embrace a little bit of this Kentucky Derby. Okay. Before my voice goes all the way out, we got to wrap up the podcast today with Kelly's What Are You Into? We're going to the video game world again.
Kelly's What Are You Into?
So, as I cough a lung out, it happened yesterday, and I don't think I'm ready for it at all yet. I got to take some water. Hang on. 2025, the year that I'm sick every week. Grand Theft Auto 6. Whoa. Grand Theft Auto 6 released their second trailer yesterday, and yeah, I'm a 43-year-old man who should be way past video games, but I'm not. Their last game came out when I was 30 years old, and Grand Theft Auto 5 is one of my favorite video games ever. I played so much of it, beat it on through multiple generations of video game systems, PS3, PS4, PS5. Never beat it on PS5, but played a bunch of it. I love this series. Love it. And they released their trailer for their next game, Grand Theft Auto 6, their second trailer yesterday, out of nowhere. No one knew it was coming. They also released a bunch of screenshots of the game. We're in for it. May 26, 2026. I am one of the people who have already put it on my calendar as a day off. I've already taken that day off, and then a couple days following it off. So I'm that guy. I'm that guy who is scheduling my 2026 vacation time around a video game. Is that embarrassing? Sure. Do I care? No, because I'm excited about it. Never changed. My wife's words to my daughter. You don't have to change. I don't have to change. I'm not going to change. I love my video games, and I love my Grand Theft Auto, and I love taking days off around video game releases. It's one of my favorite pastimes. So this will be very fun. I only have to wait over a freaking year for it to get here. Who knows? Maybe over the next 365 days, I'll lose my love for video games. All right, thanks for tuning in today. I appreciate it. Hope you have a great day. Bye.